Attentiveness does not merely mean being attentive during art class, art in isolation. It means being attentive to our natural lives where our artistic connections originate. Let's set the scene. It was 1995, all the way back there in Virginia Beach. 3 things to know. 1, I'm in the 6th grade. 2, I'm dyslexic. And 3, no one knows. I guess it's a secret. In art class, the clay was distributed. By 6th grade, I had climbed with IEP to grades unbecoming a dyslexic. While my thoughts focused on my clay tiger, I knew how I was viewed. I was one of the smart kids. Attentiveness is keeping track of everything. As I sculpted clay, the teacher left the room. Chatter bubbled up, and serendipity struck. Dyslexia was brought up, and I wanted to be more open about it, so I took ownership as I gave my tiger a real tail. I have dyslexia. Aren't you a straight-A student? You had dyslexia. No. My thoughts bubbled inside me as my tiger transformed more into a chimera. So you were cured. It's not a disease, so it can't be cured. And the argument went around and around. I wasn't proud of my dyslexia, my disability back then, and withheld any true proof. Like Coriolanus, I refused to show my scars. But I knew what to do. To explain it, however, we have to go back in time. 3 things to know. 1, I'm in 5th grade. 2, I'm dyslexic and everyone knows, because in elementary school, I was in a special ed classroom part of the day. My teacher, Miss Redacted, walked into the classroom one day looking like Punky Brewster had just stepped off the magic school bus. She explained, "Oh, yes, my daughter Emily decided to pick out my clothes today. You know, Emily is actually about your age. She doesn't go here." Now we go back to 6th grade. My chimera looked over with all its heads and stared directly at Emily. Emily Redacted. Excuse me, Emily? Huh? Emily, I know you weren't paying attention, dear, but you could resolve this. I am dyslexic, and I think you're the right person to talk about it. Why, I mean, my mom teaches. I know, Emily. Your mother was my teacher last year at King's Grant. Oh. And everyone was shocked, because somehow I had managed to validate myself. Because I was attentive back then, I could be aware now. Months later, we displayed all of our work in something, well, not quite as cool as this. Think more middle school and public school funding. But my chimera had to have a name, so I titled it Dyslexia. Most people assumed it was because of my struggle with dyslexia, but I named it Dyslexia because of the conversation around when it was made. Oh, a quote. Who said it? I I think that the author is quoting themselves. Oh, who does that? Poets? Oh, it's a moral story, isn't it? What? Attention is the beginning of devotion, and everyone is distracted. You can't devote yourself to art and be distracted. But what if the conversation informs the art? What does dyslexia have to do with chimera? No. Art is an experience. You sound like John Dewey. Thank you. A lifetime would be too short to produce a single emotion. This is all about an emotion. So what is the story versus what is the art? Now, all of this is the experience because it's part of the creation. Next, you're going to tell me that we are the callous surroundings John Dewey you warned about. I would never. I think this is trying to show what Green was talking about. We are entangled with one another. Hang on. The title of the art was dyslexia. So it's talking about aesthetic to the audience versus artistic experience. I mean, I think the artist is right, but so is anybody viewing the art? What would Stanley Fish or Wolfgang Iser say? Those are literary critics, not art critics. You can't cross the streams. If you are free to look at alternative solutions to things, that learning could be very interesting. Green said that. Why can't alternative solutions include using literary criticism for art? One set of stars, two constellations, and everyone is right. That's Iser.